Hello there everyone, it's your boy B3, back with another kicking manga review. Today we are looking at a pretty cool one for you guys. It is Yu-Gi-Oh! Volume 3, Capsule Monster Chess. From Viz Manga and Shonen Jump by Kazuki Takahashi. Very, very fun. So, a lot of the stories in this volume are ones that I read as a kid in Weekly Shonen Jump. Not all of them, but some of them. Or at least we're getting to them anyhow. So I remember last time we left off, Shadi was possessing an Egyptologist, an archaeologist, and having him attack Jonichi, who is Joey in the English anime. And then Anzu is Taya in the English anime. And Honda is Tristan in the English anime. Just FYI. But they keep their names, their original Japanese names, in the English translation of the manga. But Shadi is doing this to kind of coax Yami Yugi out. No matter how much they beat up this professor, he just keeps coming because he's been brainwashed by ancient Egyptian magic, of course. But he basically clears Taya's mind. He goes into her and like sees her inner soul, and he clears her mind and makes her a puppet, and he's like, look, I'll straight up command this girl to kill herself if you don't show up. So that gets Yami Yugi going a bit more. And, you know, Jonichi has run out to lead the professor away so he doesn't hurt anyone else. There's always a convenient excuse why no one actually sees Yami Yugi appear, you know? But Shadi really wants to test him with a shadow game. Because of course it's with a shadow game. So he has this plank at the edge of like the roof. And he has Anzu stand on it. And there's this rope. And he has this rope going through his Millennium Key, which is very interesting. And then there are these, what are they called again? These little statues. I think they're called Ush-Ebti. Ush-Ebti, I'll just call them statues, and they look like little sarcophagi. And there's 4 of them. And every time Shadi finds like a crack in Yugi's soul, finds one of his insecurities, one of these will shatter. And once all 4 have shattered, the rope holding Anzu up will fall, and she will fall to her death off the roof. Or he can shatter the single one connected to Shadi's soul. He can find Shadi's insecurity and shatter it. And then that will cause the Millennium Key to slide down the rope and touch Anzu's hand, which will free her from the spell so that she can recover and walk back on her own. And so it's mostly an unfair game. But at least Shadi only has one little statue. But he points out one of Yugi's fears and breaks the first one almost immediately before he even explains the rules. Then he has these hallucinations of mummies that Yugi has to battle. And he has to answer this riddle. And I thought the riddle was a pretty obvious answer. But it's okay. The next one the next puzzle he has to solve is a bit more difficult. You know, you get that ancient Egyptian crocodile goddess illusion coming up to eat Yugi, and it's going to bite his head off if he doesn't do this other puzzle where he has to guess what the middle piece is from a reflection. I guessed that it was him. I was wrong. It was actually the mouth of the crocodile goddess. Which I can see. That makes sense to me. Very fun. Very cool. Very ace. Very swag. Very YOLO. But I would have died, but Yugi solved it. So that's good. Anyhow, Jonichi kind of is avoiding the professor by crawling along the outside of the building now, and he sees Anzu and goes to try to help her. So now we have 2 forces trying to help Anzu, right? But Shoddy makes an illusion of Jonichi, whose name I'm probably mispronouncing. Jonuchi? I don't know. Jonichi is just how I'm going to say it. And it plays this game with Yugi where they throw the Millennium Puzzle like a die, and whichever way it points, they have to like move 2 squares that direction, and eventually one of them will fall off the edge into this pit. And Yugi just refuses to play because he's like, I know this is probably an illusion, but even if there's like the slightest chance that Jonichi is being mind controlled, just like Anzu, I'm just not going to play. He just refuses to play. And this eventually leads to the breaking of Shoddy's statue and the freeing of Anzu, because Shoddy doesn't understand friendship. Whoa, the power of friendship and the shard of the tards. I'm sorry, heart of the cards. That was inappropriate. Anyhow, this leads Yugi to his victory, but even still, Jonichi is there to help Anzu get back as well. So yeah, friends working together, saving a lot of people. Really fun stuff. And it also wakes up the professor. And though Yami Yugi says he'll never forgive Shoddy, it seems like he taught Shoddy a lesson, and that perhaps Shoddy will be an ally in the future. Because Yugi is like, I didn't win on my own. I won because of Jonichi. I won because of Anzu, because of the people supporting me. That's the real power of the Millennium Puzzle, the power of unity. The puzzle's nothing if it's just one of its little pieces. You have to put all the pieces together. That's right, the puzzle is a very obvious metaphor. So yeah, then you see Yugi standing with all his friends, and Shoddy leaves. And the professor is also saved. His life is not taken. Then we have Digital Pet Duel. This is probably the first one I ever read as a kid. I would get weekly Shonen Jumps sometimes, just from like the magazine section at the grocery store, which doesn't sell comics anymore. I still go to that grocery store very rarely because it's still where my parents live, but it's not where I live. But it's got these Tamagotchi-esque digital pets, which were huge when this book would have come out. They would have been all the rage. But there's one digital pet that's like this horrible magical monster. Doesn't explain how, but this guy has it, and it eats other digital pets. But eventually, Yugi's digital pet, after mating with Jonichi's, a real thing that happened, is able to defeat it. It's just a little one-off chapter, not part of a bigger story or anything. I don't even know if we'll even see the return of the digital pets. But there was another one called Duel 22 American Hero Part 1. This is another one I read as a kid. I remember these being really confusing to me because they weren't about duel monsters at all. Because we never got Season 0, which I think isn't very duel monstery. But there's this zombie-esque superhero from American comics that one of their friends, who we don't see often, is a big fan of. He's called Zombire. He's basically Spawn. It definitely feels like it has a lot of Spawn influence. But there's this kid that doesn't have a lot of friends and whose dad feels guilty for being in America on business a lot, so he always brings him something back from America of this hero, usually something you can't get in Japan. But this kid is like obsessed. He literally dresses in a Zombire cosplay and then like goes out jumping across the rooftops and stuff. And his dad sees him leave. Then he runs into a mugging and saves the guy because the dad paid these like gang members to pretend to be defeated by him. Very smart dad. Real good parenting. Yeah, make your son think he has superpowers. That won't get him killed. Also, this kid is in high school. He can't be this stupid, right? It's kind of insane. But the gangsters figure out the identity of this kid, who is gaining a lot of confidence and stuff in himself, but it all eventually leads to these gang members kind of kidnapping the kid and demanding a huge ransom from the dad that he can't afford. Luckily, Yami Yugi is there to help, and he uses the spray paint they use for tagging to light them on fire. Once again, everyone in this city is an insane sociopath. It's incredible. It's like actually insane. Then we get into Capsule Monster Chess, which is a game that I would actually really like to play. I'm a big fan of miniatures games, especially games where you like buy the individual miniatures and build your own team with your own strategy and stuff. Huge fan of that. I would play the shit out of this game. In the context of this book, it's something that mostly elementary schoolers play, but like, I love it. It's great. It seems simple enough. Very cool. Very fun. I don't know how people know their monster's abilities, because there's no like fact card or anything that seems to come in the little gashapon that they're in. But it seems the champion of this game is Mokuba. That's right, Mokuba Kaiba. You know, the relatively wholesome one from the anime? Well, he's also a psychopath in here. Until, of course, the end of the last volume, when he suddenly becomes a good guy for almost no reason. But Mokuba basically forces Yugi to come play the game with him. And one of the ways he forces him to do that is, like, all these grade schoolers have, like, Uzis and tasers and stuff because Mokuba has supplied them all. They're like a middle school gang. But Mokuba has one of the machines that dispenses the capsules, and it's rigged to give Mokuba all levels 4 and 5, and Yugi 3 level 1s, a level 2, and a level 4. So, Mokuba is as big of a cheater as his brother. I know I mentioned this when I talked about Yugi's first Duel Monsters game with Kaiba, but they have so much pride in being the best there is at what they do. But they aren't. They always cheat. You're not the best if you cheat. Kaiba cheats at Duel Monsters, and Mokuba cheats at Capsule Monster Chess. It's unfathomable to me that they actually have confidence. It's insane. It really is. Like, it really, really is. So they play the game, and of course Yugi outsmarts him and wins. It looks like a really fun game. Like a genuinely really fun game, but it is a shadow game, so of course all the little critters come to life. You know it. And Yugi's thing is, he traps Mokuba in an illusion of one of the capsules, so Mokuba, the elementary schooler, thinks that he's trapped in this capsule, and he's like super traumatized about it. What a monster. There's also something in the back called Duel Monsters Dice Game, where if you just have a few dice, you can actually play a game on a board in the manga, which is very fun. I didn't actually play the game. I would like to. Excuse me. But my dice are kind of packed up right now because I'm trying to move. And also, because I haven't been playing D&D in a while, my group has taken a break because our DM is... He works at a very fancy place that's going through a very fancy thing. So yeah, that is it for Yu-Gi-Oh! Volume 3, Capsule Monster Chest by Kazuki Takahashi. Thank you all very much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because we are going to be reviewing the last 4 volumes of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I am very excited to do so. I have read them. I'm ready to review them. I just don't want to do like a ton of Yu-Gi-Oh! Reviews all in a row. I like to break them up if I can. So that's it. Thank you all once again. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.